crypto fam? We are pumping. Let's get it. In today's show, Bitcoin eyes $25,000 as the price nears the best weekly close in 5 months. Also, Sam Bankman-Fried seeks access to FTX funds. His lawyers claim he was not involved in the previous unauthorized transactions and should have access to company assets. Also in today's show, ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF has been rejected by the SEC once again for the second time. Also in today's show, Strike integrates Lightning with point-of-sale giant Clover. That's right, Strike's plans to integrate Bitcoin's Lightning network with American POS providers are beginning to take effect. Also in today's show, El Salvador's Bitcoin City wins an International Design Award. I'll be breaking down this report. Also in today's show, Bitcoin surged to $180,000, maybe incoming, says Analyst who called a major crypto crash and explains when, quoting him here alongside his technical analysis with his chart, a technical target for Bitcoin of $180,000 late next year. Send it. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Welcome everyone tuning in to today's live stream of Crypto News Alerts podcast number 1178. Today is January 29th and the crypto market is pumping. As you can see here on your screen, we got Bitcoin trading above $23,500, up literally 2.2% for the day. We have Ether at 1.3%, trading back above $1,600. And as you can see, all the major alts are also all currently pumping and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Let's get the latest data right here. You can see the market cap fastly approaching $1.1 billion with $44 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance on the climb at 42.4% with the Ether dominance at 18.4%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we have GMX leading the pack, up almost 14%, trading at $62.39, followed by Dash up about 14%, trading above 57 bucks, followed by Decentraland up 13.5%, trading just above 79 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, massive gains. You got Matic up 17.2%, we got APT up 32%, Gala up 20.8%, TWT up 19.8%, and XRD up 27%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're finally back in greed. Goodbye fear, extreme fear, and even neutral. You can see we're currently rated a 55. Yesterday was a 52. Last week a 53, and last month a 28 in fear. Are you guys and gals pretty pumped up for the current Bitcoin pump? And do you think 25,000 is inevitable here before the end of the month? Let me know in the comments right down below. Considering there's just 3 more days left to end out for January, and we're already up over 40% for this month. So January has been extremely bullish. But now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin spiked into key liquidity for a third time January 29th as the weekly and monthly closes loom. That's right around the corner. By the end of the day, it's going to be a big close for the King Crypto. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed Bitcoin briefly hitting 24,498, but right now you can see the Bitcoin price continuing to pump, currently above $25,000. Now let's dive in. Previous order book data from Binance uploaded to Twitter by monitoring resource material indicators demonstrated the firepower needed to neutralize the bears. As of January 27th, resistance was stacked at $23,200 and $24,005 and $25,000, with the latter nonetheless still on the trader's radar as a potential next target. Quoting Crypto Tony, 25,000 target in sight, a confident Crypto Tony told his Twitter followers. And he also shared this chart, and he also expects a move higher on the alts, with the overall crypto market cap set for a retest of resistance above the $1 trillion mark. Quoting him here, I am still looking for a decent move up over the next few weeks, but be cautious when we begin tapping the 1.2 to 1.33 trillion mark cap resistance level. This is a significant level, and I expect strong resistance here, he wrote yesterday, January 28th. And like others, Crypto Tony remained cautious on the longer time frames, keeping the door open for new macro low to appear on Bitcoin and alts at some point this year in 2023. Among them is fellow commentator Crypto Capo, yes, the one and only infamous, who is in an update for the day, and he's avoiding technical analysis to state that he remains short and strong on BTC. Now, as you all know, Capo has been calling for this to be the biggest bull trap, and he called that back when we were at like $16,000, and now we're trading above $25,000. So yeah, it is what it is. So is this the best January in a decade? Let's discuss it. At the current price, Bitcoin looks set to close the week at its highest level since mid-August 2022, and with the ramifications of the FTX meltdown absent from the charts, January gains stood at about 40% at this time, with Bitcoin's most profitable January since 2013. That's right, this is the most profitable January for Bitcoin in literally a decade. And in addition to the monthly close, the coming week will see new potential macroeconomic triggers from the U.S. as the Fed decides on its latest interest rate hike. This and more will feature in the forthcoming edition of the Cointelegraph Markets newsletter. Shout out to Cointelegraph Markets. But you guys let me know how many of you are currently bullish on this pump and seizing the moment and taking advantage of it. Holla at your boy in the comments right down below, which leads us to our next story of the day. And do you know that SBF, his lawyer, is requesting him to get access to the FTX funds after billions were hacked and stolen? You can't make this stuff up, folks. Let's dive in, shall we? Now, Sam Bankman-Fried's legal team is seeking to remove bail conditions that prevented him from accessing the FTX funds, according to court filings from January 28th. A letter from SBF's lawyer, Mark Cohen, to the U.S. District Court Judge Lewis Kaplan stated that SBF should have access to assets held by FTX, claiming the client was not involved in previous unauthorized transactions. Yeah, sure. FTX and FTX US sought over $659 million in unauthorized transfers amid the collapse of the crypto exchange in November of 2022. And according to Nansen data reported by Cointelegraph, Bankman-Fried denied any involvement in the transactions. And as per the letter sent to Kaplan, Bankman-Fried was prohibited from accessing or transferring any FTX or Alameda assets or crypto, including assets or crypto purchased with funds from FTX or Alameda, as requested by U.S. authorities at the first court hearing, January 3rd. And at the time, prosecutors acknowledged that there was no evidence that Bankman-Fried had transferred the funds and noted that a federal probe was underway. Well, maybe he personally didn't transfer the funds, but do you think he has no clue who actually did, especially when he's the one who designed the backdoor into the system? Common sense, folks. Nearly 3 weeks have passed since the initial pre-trial conference, and we assume the government's investigation has confirmed that Mr. Bankman-Fried, what he said all along, namely, he did not access and transfer these assets, notes the letter, stating that the defense notified authorities as soon as we became aware of the transfers to provide notification. And furthermore, the lawyers argued, given that the sole basis advanced for seeking that condition has not been supported, we believe that the bail condition imposed at the conference should be removed. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Bankman-Fried's lawyer. And in addition, the letter addresses a request from January 27th by the U.S. Department of Justice prohibiting Bankman-Fried from communicating with current or former employees of FTX or Alameda Research without his attorney's presence. The prosecutor's request was made after Bankman-Fried allegedly reached out to Tareen Miller, the current general counsel of FTX US, over Signal and emailed on January 15th, attempting to influence Miller's testimony. As per Cohen's letter, Bankman-Fried should have unlimited contact with his father, therapist, or any employer or agent of a foreign regulator outside of presence of attorneys, the defense stated, quoting them here. For example, it would mean that Mr. Bankman-Fried could not speak to his therapist, who is a former FTX employee, without the participation of his lawyers. And according to public sources, FTX and Alameda had approximately 350 employees. Each of these current and former employees could have information crucial to Mr. Bankman-Fried's defense, requiring Mr. Bankman-Fried to include counsel in every communication with a former or current FTX employee would place an unnecessary strain on his resources and prejudice his ability to defend this case. Now, on November 11, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy, which we all know, and Bankman-Fried resigned as the company's CEO and on bail at his California family house. He currently faces 8 charges, including wire fraud and money laundering. So there you have it. Do you think the judge will grant his lawyer's request to grant him access to the funds from FTX and Alameda? I sure hope not, but we're living in a clown world, so you never know. And with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest Bitcoin ETF in the United States to get rejected by the SEC. The United States SEC rejected the joint effort of ARK Investment Management and 21 shares to list a spot Bitcoin ETF on the CBOE BZX exchange. The agency dismissed yet another application filed by the partners in the spring of 2022. And as indicated in a recent filing, the American financial regulator did not allow ARK's 21 shares Bitcoin spot ETF to launch in the U.S. market. The product was supposed to be listed on the CBOE BZH exchange. However, the SEC claimed the venue did not demonstrate that its proposal is consistent with the requirements to prevent manipulation of prices and fraud. Now, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest Management and Swiss fintech company 21 Shares displayed intentions to introduce a Bitcoin spot ETF in the States in 2021, but the watchdog rejected their application in Q2 of last year, citing a lack of investor protection, as if the SEC is here really to protect us. Come on, guys. The SEC has dismissed many other similar efforts in the recent past as well, with Grayscale, Van Eck, and NYDIG just being some examples. And discouraged by the constant rejections, we even had Grayscale vowing to engage in a legal battle with the regulator. Both sides will present their arguments in a court at the beginning of March. And despite its unfriendly stance towards such products, the SEC approved the ProShares Bitcoin Futures ETF, dubbed BITO, in October 2021, but later said that Valkyrie's proposal to list a Bitcoin Futures Fund, the VBTC, is available to accredited investors and provides exposure to primary cryptocurrency. So think about this for a moment. Why do you personally think that the SEC is allowing futures ETFs but not a spot ETF? That's because they want to continue to be able to ultimately do their thing, the word I was looking for, but they want to be able to manipulate the market as they do best, as they have been doing. And it's a damn shame, if you're to ask me. I don't see a spot Bitcoin ETF coming to the United States anytime soon, but thanks to the SEC, they don't want it. They know that's going to be good for the investors and good for the market and help basically point out the bad actors. If we had a spot Bitcoin ETF, we wouldn't have had the same effect from the FTX fallout. And was Gensler and the SEC doing their job? Were the regulators protecting the investors there? They weren't. That was a $10 billion fraud. So it makes you wonder, and it's sad, but it is what it is. They can only push this back for so long as they continue to stifle innovation in the United States. But do you think a spot Bitcoin ETF may likely be approved in the near future, 2024, 2025, around the time of the next halving, preceding the next halving? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. Naturally, that will usher in massive institutional adoption, and the SEC does not want it. It's a damn shame. But with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest with Strike and Clover with their partnership, because this story is also a pretty big deal. Shout out to Jack Mallers, the CEO of Strike. Bitcoin payment and wallet company Strike partnered with fintech giant Fiserv to integrate the Bitcoin Lightning Network with point-of-sale terminal provider Clover. And with this will allow certain Clover merchants to accept Lightning payments, expanding Bitcoin's use case as a medium of exchange. And the Lightning Network adoption right now is at an all-time high, just like the hash rate of the King Crypto. As explained by the Strike CEO Jack Mallers over Twitter on Thursday, the integration effectively allows Clover to accept cash final USD over Lightning. Strike's service converts Bitcoin payments into a merchant's currency of choice on the back end, letting merchants accept alternative forms of payment like Bitcoin. This doesn't integrate Strike. This integrates Lightning, clarifies Mallers in his tweet. Anyone can use any service to check out at any enabled merchant. If it can make a Lightning payment, you can use it. Strike is a custodial platform offering various features to Bitcoin users, including the ability to receive one's salary in Bitcoin or interact with the Lightning Network. However, Strike's efforts allow alternative Lightning wallets, including the Cash App and MUUN wallet, to operate with Clover. That said, not all Clover merchants have been enabled just yet. Thursday marked the beginning of a 90-day pilot period, during which Strike will measure the new Lightning-based system's costs and settlement speeds compared to the other networks, alongside any new business that Lightning attracts. And after the pilot, Strike will look to integrate with Clover directly through the App Store. This would enable Lightning as an accepted payment network for all Clover merchants by default, sitting next to card networks like Visa and MasterCard. He said, "Let's get it." Mallers is a loud proponent of the Bitcoin Lightning Network as a superior payment network compared to legacy alternatives Facts. And in an interview with Yahoo Finance last year, he called it cheaper, faster, global, more inclusive, and more innovative than its competitors, arguing that it can interface with dollars just as well as BTC. Now, at Bitcoin 2022 last year, I saw Jack Mallers live in the flesh. How many of you were there at the event? Mallers revealed that Strike partnered with Shopify, Blackhawk, and NCR to integrate Lightning for merchants across the United States. Much like it's doing with Clover, this would enable Lightning payments at multiple leading American retailers, including McDonald's, Walmart's, and Macy's. And while originally promised to be fully implemented within 2022, Mallers published a blog post at the end of December admitting that his timelines for the integrations were off, quoting him here, "These partnerships and developments are huge, and they are simply going to take a bit longer than I initially thought." So there you have it. Let the mass adoption continue. And how many of you have ever actually used Strike or implemented the Lightning Network for Bitcoin to use it in a transaction? Let me know in the comments right down below. Now, before we dive into this $180,000 bullish price prediction by next year, let's first discuss Bitcoin City winning an actual award and break down this latest report. And shout out to Nayib Bukele and the people of El Salvador. The Loop Design Awards reportedly recognized the Bitcoin City of El Salvador's government as one of the most outstanding projects in interior design and architecture. And when completed, the metropolis will use the energy released from the Canchuga volcano to power itself and Bitcoin as its currency. Bring it. According to recent coverage, El Salvador's urban project stood out amongst 700 proposals. The jury outlined its innovative interior style, while the beautiful surrounding nature and nearby volcanoes also attributed to the success. They also highlighted the work of the Mexican architect Fernando Romero, who designed it. The Bitcoin City will be built in the southeast of the Latin American country, close to two of the nation's biggest volcanoes, the Canchuga and Tecapa. Romero's team said that the future metropolis will be efficient and sustainable and will use geothermal energy from the volcanoes to power itself. Doesn't get any sweeter than that. It will use Bitcoin as its currency, which will provide certain monetary benefits to the residents. The new public space will be the culmination of decades of research into what humans need to live well in an anti-inflationary economy, the architect outline. How many of you have actually visited Bitcoin City? Let me know. Romero designed, or at least in El Salvador, let's say the least, as the city is still being constructed. But Romero designed the urban area in the shape of a circle so it can represent the logo of Bitcoin when it looked at from above, such as from a chopper. The president of El Salvador, Bukele, was the first to present the project in 2021. The local government planned to raise $1 billion in Bitcoin-backed bonds to finance the construction, which was supposed to mature in 2032. However, the authorities postponed it until March of 2022, citing unfavorable market conditions. Bukele shed some more light on the design in May of last year, showing how the city will look when observed from the air, its modern airport, and its volcano watchtower. And apart from being the first nation to embrace the primary crypto as a legal tender, El Salvador's government has also introduced several projects related to it in the past few years. It built a massive vet hospital named Chivo Pets, where treatments are paid in BTC, and opened an education center that provides free and accessible learning opportunities surrounding the asset for Salvadorans. Now, the authorities have also started accumulating Bitcoin on a macroeconomic level, holding approximately 54 million as of right now, 54 million worth of BTC. The amount, though, could be higher since Bukele announced in November that the government will purchase 1 BTC per day, and it remains unknown whether the buy-in spree goes as promised. But there you have it. How many of you would actually ever contemplate relocating to Bitcoin City, especially when it is all done? Let me know, as there are many advantages, especially with taxes for living out there. And with that being shared, now let's dive into our final story of the day. The moment you have all been waiting for. Let's break down this $180,000 Bitcoin price prediction for the King Crypto, shall we? The crypto strategist who nailed the Bitcoin May 2021 collapse says Bitcoin is flashing signals right now that suggest the King Crypto is setting up for a massive move to the upside. Send it. Synonymous analyst Dave the Wave tells his 134,000 Twitter followers that multiple technical indicators are turning bullish for the King Crypto, quoting him right here. The real possibility of a large move managed risks to both sides. Weekly MACD which is the moving average convergence divergence in the same area, histogram is extended and price in the lower band / buy zone, which outlined here in this chart. It shows Bitcoin appears to be following its Q2 2019 technical setup when Bitcoin rallied from around 4,000 to 14,000 in just a few months. And according to the Analyst, the MACD, which is a trend reversal indicator, is currently hovering at the same zone as it did prior to the 2019 Bitcoin surge. And the histogram, which measures the convergence or divergence of the moving averages, is also on the up and up, similar to Bitcoin's Q2 2019 setup. The crypto strategist says the Bitcoin can explode by 676% by 2024 based on his logarithmic growth curve model, better known as the LGC, quoting him here alongside this chart, a technical target for Bitcoin of $180,000 late next year. Bring it. I can't freaking wait personally. Now, the LGC is the analyst's attempt to predict Bitcoin's boom and bust cycles amid changing macroeconomic conditions. According to Dave the Wave, the LGC model is designed for the long term. Bitcoin investors, as he points out here, Bitcoin charts are for investors buying in a few tranches over a responsible period of time with price in the buy zone may prove to be a good investment going forward. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst and that we're likely to see a $180,000 Bitcoin surge incoming by next year. Holla at your boy. And with that being shared, I want to welcome everyone just tuning in as we dive into my favorite segment of the live show, which is the live Q&A. Digital Dankness, always a pleasure, my fam. Tough Cookie, welcome. Steve Kingston, we got Caesar in the building. We got Trini, always a pleasure. Renee, good to see you, fam. Steve Kingston, welcome. Matt and Bali, we got SpongeBob SquarePants in the building. Pokemon in the building. Jim Wood, we got George Graves, good to see my entire crypto fam. Frankie V, what's good? Mikey likes it. We got Mega Don, we got the Coin Father, we got all the Dons. I'm the Don Juan inside the Don. Yeah, Digital Dankness, always a pleasure, family. Appreciate all of your support as always. Dan Drummond, good to see you. Let's start it here at the top and go down. Dankness says, I'd like to hit our head at 25,000 myself, and then like in 2019, take one more consolidation run near 12,000, giving a good pump to 100,000 in the halving. Dan says someone want to do a wellness check on Capo, who's been calling since the price has been 16,000, saying this is the biggest bull trap I have ever seen, and now the price is above 25,000. So yeah, people on crypto Twitter are going hard. What's really good, JV? Medellin in the building. Joe Voss, always a pleasure. Appreciate you tuning in live. Long-term bull for sure, says Dankness. This is the technology that will give us true freedom. Preach. You ain't telling no lies. Steve Kingston says we are definitely uncharted. I agree 100%. I believe we're currently in uncharted territory. Yeah, we're up over 40% already for the month of January, making this the best performing January for the past decade for the King Crypto. Definitely another bullish omen. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you had your opportunity at 15.7 already and you waited. Reminds us, Dan Drummond. Thanks for the reminder, fam. Dankness says, thought you had something in your news articles. No, I was making some jokes about Shiba a little earlier because it seems like people, like for example, there were a lot of investors on the sideline when Bitcoin price was at 16,000 and we were stuck there for a minute, ranging between 16 and 17,000. So a lot of people were expecting us to go lower and maybe they had their crypto in a stable coin or something. But guess what? We didn't go lower. We shot up. Now those same investors, many of them are going to say and look at Bitcoin, especially if you're a newbie, and be like, wow, Bitcoin's so expensive. It's 23,500. Maybe I should only invest into these ish coins. And they end up getting a huge position in SHIB instead of getting Bitcoin because they don't understand and they don't know any better. So yeah, I don't have any negative news for Shiba. That was just an inside joke. So don't get it twisted, fam. Steve Kingston says liquidity panty remover. That's funny. I know. Try not to be a maxi here. Good morning to you as well. I appreciate y'all. And thanks for the kind words. Coinfather says I'll watch the show later. Got to get half a foot of snow removed outside. Good Lord. And he says, go 49ers and go Chiefs. Megadon says, morning, JV. Good morning, fam. Let's go, Max Kaiser, my man. Let's Bitcoin. Let's get it. Coin Daddy, 100%. That's what's up. Doesn't that guy, Bankman Fraud, have an ankle bracelet? That he's supposed to. I haven't seen it yet, and until I see it, I don't believe it. It seems like he's had unfair treatment What they should have done to Bankman-Fried, they're doing to the Tates. Sad, but that's the reality. You know what I mean? When the Matrix attacks. Obviously, the Matrix supports Bankman-Fried, unfortunately. And ironic, his name is Bankman-Fried. He works for the bankers and he's free. Is this just a coincidence? Good Lord. Good morning, crypto family. Good morning, George Craze. Appreciate you tuning in live, fam. Happy Sunday. How's your day going? Are we out of the woods yet? I think so, but you never know. Nobody knows. That's what's ironic. Reminder, everyone was bearish on Twitter. Everyone, every analyst not too long ago, 1 month ago, was extremely bearish on Twitter. And when the entire market flipped bearish, the market decided to flip bullish. If everyone in the market flipped bullish today, more than likely, the market would do the unexpected and flip bearish. So anything can happen. However, technical indicators right now, extremely bullish, flashing extremely bullish signals. So do keep that in mind. Good morning. Good to see you as well. Dankness says they better leave the money alone and give it back to those that lost everything. Didn't he claim he was doing FTX to be a philanthropic company? This would be the exact opposite. Correct. Bankman-Fried is a scam artist and everything he said was not true and makes absolutely no sense. And his actions have already proven otherwise. Why would they even contemplate giving him access to the funds? This is the same guy who said he only had $100,000 to his name, and then we find out he has hundreds of millions of dollars in investments in other companies and other money hidden all over the place. The same guy. You know what I mean? It's wild. And this is the guy that the SEC has been protecting. This is the same guy that Gary Gensler had sit-downs with. The same freaking guy, because they're working for the same team, if you're to ask me. That's my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think. SpongeBob says, I called it back in the beginning of the FTX collapse and commented SBF should be banned from using the internet. Amen. Ban that clown. Why is he even on the internet at this point? SEC received stolen money. Throw away the keys. There you go. Steve says, did anyone else take a look at SBF's mother? Holy crap. She is scaring strict looking. Like scary looking? I don't even think I look at the lady. I don't even want to look at the lady. Renee said, good morning, fam. CME Bitcoin gap at 19.9 will fill, JV. Sorry. I'm not saying it's not going to fill, so all good. I mean, the price action is going to do what it do. I'm not saying it's only going up. I'm not saying it's only going down. You know what I mean? The market will do what it does. But did you position yourself to take advantage of it is the question, right? That's the question. I don't know if you can legally ban someone from using the internet. Use might be protected by the Constitution's First Amendment. Good point. Dankness says, let's go BTC City. Power to the people. Volcano coin. Incoming. Let's go. SpongeBob Lava coin. Guess I should check out Lava coin, right? It's almost like SBF was completely thought up. Even his cheese Marvel villain name. Dan, I feel the same way. This is no coincidence if you're to ask me. This was an inside job. I believe FTX was an inside job, 100%. FTX is the 9/11 of crypto. You got me? I think I coined that. FTX is the 9/11 of crypto. Let me know if you guys can relate. Caesar says short APT. APT has been one of the best performing alts in the past month. Do you think it is overbought right now? Is that your thought? Let me know. Ryan O'Ryan says, I am 32. That's what's up. I am 39. I'm about to be 40 in 2 weeks. Better to be in early than late and miss the boat. Exactly. Steve says Coinbase is expensive but safe to start. Order a ledger to store your bags. Also, I noticed even stores now like Best Buy, they sell Ledger Nanos and Bitcoin devices, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pick up a self-custody device and don't store all of your crypto on the exchanges. Be a little smarter than that. And remember, if not your keys, not your cheese. Tough Cookie says ranging equals dollar cost averaging. Exactly. Doge could rise, yes. Well, it seems that McDonald's wanted, I think, Elon Musk to do a commercial, and Elon said only if they can promote Doge, something along those lines. Interesting, right? So you never know. I'm in Bitcoin City vicariously quite a bit. That's what's up, Steve. What's your overall thoughts of the place right now? And do you have a residency there, or what are your plans? Please do fill me in. That's what's up. Digital dankness. Viva BTC. That's right. Long live the king. Ryan O'Ryan, what would I make it if I put 1,000 in Bitcoin? What could I make if I put 1,000 in Bitcoin? That's a good question. What could you make? I mean, you got to do the math. I have no clue. You guys answer that for me. Now, with Bitcoin currently at 23,000, if you invested 1,000 into Bitcoin, when Bitcoin hits 100,000, you would have literally, was that 4x your money? Between 4 to 5x your money. So you can turn 1,000 into 5,000 by hodling over the next couple of years. Because I personally feel 100,000 is an inevitable price target. There's no guarantee, but I'm pretty optimistic we hit six figures by the year 2025 and potentially hit six figures this year, next year, or even in 2024. Anything's possible, but by 2025, I'm very confident that 100,000 is inevitable just based upon the fact that the current all-time high from the previous cycle is 69,000. So even if we only 2x, which is nothing for Bitcoin, especially during a bull cycle, if we only 2x, we're talking about like $138,000 Bitcoin price, and that's like realistically. So yeah, you could potentially 5x your funds. That's what can happen. And you could also potentially lose. We got to share both sides. Hypothetically, you put 1,000 in Bitcoin at 23,000, and let's say this time next year, the worst of the worst happens, and Bitcoin's trading at 13,000. You'd be down on your position. So there is no guarantee, and it's important I point that out. I don't want anyone to think that investing into Bitcoin is a guarantee, because it's not. Nothing is a guarantee at the end of the day. You're not guaranteed to wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But there's probabilities, and I say there is a very strong probability that Bitcoin is more likely to go up because I look at the risk versus the reward, and right now the reward is tremendous versus the risk in Bitcoin, especially considering we've already tapped 69,000 as the all-time high, November 2021, right? So what's the upside potential here? 20, 40, more than 3x. What's the downside potential? I don't see much more downside. You know what I mean? But anything's possible, but keep that in mind. Anything over your purchase price is what you make exactly. Now, if you trade with leverage, it's a whole different ballgame, but I would encourage no trader to trade with leverage. And especially if you're a newbie, stay away from trading with leverage because virtually all of you are going to get wrecked. Even though it seems like a great opportunity. Ooh, I can trade with 100x leverage and 100x my profits. You can also get liquidated like that. You know what I mean? 5 times the fiat. Young pup. You guys are hilarious. Just don't pull out too late. You know what happens then. It gets messy and expensive. You ain't telling no lies. Or SpongeBob says, keep $1,000 in your bank and lose money. Yeah, that's a fact. If you keep 1,000 in your bank, not only are you going to get virtually no interest, the buying power of your fiat in a couple of years is going to be way less. You may only have 80% or 70% of what you have today. So you got to also consider that. So thanks for bringing that up, SpongeBob. With that being shared, now let's wrap up with the big finish, which is recap what I covered with you here in today's show. We discussed the Bitcoin price action, tapping 25,000 as the price nears its best weekly close in 5 months. We just had the best January literally in the past decade for the King Crypto. We also discussed Scam Bankman-Fried seeking access to FTX funds. And also we discussed ARK's 21 shares Bitcoin ETF rejected by the SEC once again, as well as Strike integrating with point of sale giant Clover as the mass adoption continues, as well as El Salvador's Bitcoin City winning an international award design. I broke down this latest report. And we also discussed a very bullish Bitcoin surge to $180,000 by next year, says analysts who called the major crypto crash. We're talking about day of the wave. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below. And I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow.